In our obsession with antagonisms of the moment, we often forget how much unites all the members of humanity. Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet, I ask you, is not an alien force already among us? What could be more alien to the universal aspirations of our peoples than war and the threat of war?
It is the 29th of July, 2020, and apparently the aliens are on their way. You know, just when you didn't think it could get any worse. Now, that opening clip, I'm sure some of you know it well. President Reagan from September of '87, I believe. And what I wanted to do with this video was something that I mentioned in my very first video. But since the outbreak, I've gone in a different direction. I watched some of my videos, and it's almost like I'm supposed to be exposing Satan's lies. I think that's what I'll do here. Let's dig a little. Let's start right off with President Reagan, our 40th president. He was the 33rd governor of California. At number 33, that sticks out. Now let's keep in mind, you know the old saying, you can't find something that isn't there. Let's look at a few things. First, let's look at our 40th president and show you a couple of poses. I think you know them all too well. I think one of the most telling, and strange actually, the devil horns. And on top of that, you also get the 666 symbolism. 33 is very important here. I've gone over this before. 33 is the highest degree in the Scottish rite of Freemasonry. In gematria, the coding of numbers within words, Masonry itself is 33 in full reduction. What is interesting is, since this is the topic of aliens, and I will get to aliens in Maine, by the way, aliens happens to be 33 in single reduction. Now, I'm going to do two things here. Aliens also happens to be a movie directed by James Cameron back in 1986, right? Wow, time does fly. Not only is Aliens 33, Cameron itself is 33 in full reduction. And look at the similarities between some of the pictures here. The hand on the chin, and the symbolism that just keeps popping up, the repetition over and over again with most of these celebrities. Now keep in mind, Ronald Reagan was an actor, much like our current president. So 33, that's not enough for me at that point. We're looking at UFOs. So UFOs just so happens to be 366 in English Sumerian. In numerology and gematria, there are three numbers you don't break down. You don't break down 11, you don't break down 22, and you don't break down 33 to a single digit. All other numbers are broken down to a single digit. So 3 plus 6 plus 6 equals 15. 1 plus 5 equals 6. So you get your 666 with UFOs in English Sumerian. Strangely enough, UFOs is also 366 in reverse trigonal. Again, 3 plus 6 plus 6 is 15. 1 plus 5 equals 6. 666. A UFO, take off that S, strangely enough, 366 in the English extended cipher. 3 plus 6 is 15. 1 plus 5 is 6. 666 again. So, this has always been my opinion, okay? I used to love science fiction growing up. I grew up with Star Wars, I grew up with Star Trek. I still enjoy it. You separate it. It's fiction. It's not real. Now, when you're talking about aliens, I can go into a very long story about how I grew up. I grew up in a Catholic family. That's another video for another time. As much as I loved science fiction, and as much as I want to believe that aliens are real, just the idea of alien beings landing, life on other planets and space and yada yada, it's fascinating, especially to a kid, until you figure some things out. And it doesn't take long if you pay attention. And I learned at a very young age, listening to other people, especially in Catholic church and stuff, aliens are evil, they're not real, they don't exist, and things like that. And it's like, no, that's cool. So what are they? They're demons, right? Fallen angels. I believe that all of this technology, I had none of it when I was a kid. I was born in 1971, right? I'm 49 years old. 50 is knocking on my door. I remember when the telephone went cordless. I thought it was great that I didn't have to stretch that cord underneath my door anymore to have some privacy from my parents when I was a child, But one thing leads to another as you grow up and you put two and two together like the rest of us, and I have a firm belief that aliens are not real. They're interdimensional demons. This brings us to fallen angels. Fallen angels. In the reverse satanic ciphers, strangely enough, 636. How many more times can we actually go? 6 plus 3 plus 6 is 15, and 1 plus 5 is 6, and you get 666 again. 666 being the number of the beast. I absolutely believe that man has found this technology through the fallen angels that they get to actually speak with on a face-to-face, probably first-name basis. And it's scary to say out loud, but sometimes you actually have to give the devil his due. He does good work, and his work is to deceive. Plain and simple. And the goals of the fallen angels, to take glory away from Jesus, tempt people to turn away from God, lie and deceive people, mislead people, divide followers of Jesus, twist scripture, cause false teachings, pretend to be gods or superior beings from other planets or galaxies. And I think that sums it up. I honestly believe that the great deception, the greatest possible deception, is to have something happen that would make you turn away from God, to make you suddenly not believe in God. That's deception. And for some reason, even growing up, there was always that, it seemed like a spiritual battle with science. Well, if there are aliens, clearly there is no God. And if there is a God, well, clearly there are no aliens, right? That's what I heard growing up many times. Watch Contact. Carl Sagan, that's what the whole thing is about. Read the book. I believe that this fake alien invasion that people talk about is almost next on the agenda, right? What about the people that believe in the aliens, though? Right? This is just my opinion, that aliens are interdimensional demonic entities. Now let me show you something. This is actually what made me make this video. I was just searching around and I found something from June 24th of 2020. States with the most UFO sightings in 2020, right? Maine, strangely enough, that's what made me make this video, okay? And then it's like, okay, I'm gonna dig a little, try to make a good presentation with my point of view, and then have a little fun here towards the end. Because people believe this, and people will be deceived. It just so happens that Maine makes the list at number 4. UFO hotspots include Idaho, Montana, and New Hampshire. Maine took the 4th spot. And the actual list that rounds out, right? The top 10. Vermont, Wyoming, Hawaii, Washington, and Connecticut. Apparently, Texas is lowest on the list, number 1. People just don't see that stuff in Texas, apparently. Now there's a survey, look at this. The belief in intelligent alien life is on the rise in recent years. In 2016, only 27% of Americans believed that aliens have visited our planet at some point in the ancient past. I love that. Ancient past. Not just the past, it's ancient now. Interesting terminology. In 2020, an independent poll by Opsis showed that 45% of Americans, 45% of Americans said that UFOs exist and have visited Earth. And then I found some interesting things from a site. Actual UFO sightings from the state of Maine, and it begins on July 18th of 2020. Started reading through this stuff, and it's like, look, I mean, it's amazing. And I'll just flash up on the screen real quick for your viewing pleasure. You can pause and look at this, but I definitely want to make this as part of this presentation to show that people really will be deceived, because people really do believe that something is in the sky that isn't of this world. They believe in extraterrestrials. They believe in ET. And I don't know how to get around the fact that this is going to be bad when it happens. Do you think this could happen by the end of 2020? Do you believe that we will finally see what many people call absolute proof, full disclosure of supposed alien life forms by the end of this year? Just keep in mind, I haven't heard this mentioned yet, so I'll just toss it in real quick. Don't be surprised when they tell you this entire pandemic was caused by some type of alien life form that has been here the entire time, and they knew it, put as much fear into people as humanly possible, and the only cure from that is that vaccination. All right, everybody. Live long and prosper. May the force be with you. I'm sorry. May God bless you all.